Hi, and welcome to Everybody's a Critic, the new Gleam Team video podcast. I'm Pat Casey.
And I'm Scott Eshelman.
Do you ever wonder what would happen if you put Indiana Jones up against Citizen Kane? Which movie will come out on top? Which movie has more cultural relevance and will be remembered for years to come? Well, Scott and I pondered this, and we decided to come up with this podcast where we'll take the top 100 movies from critics from the last 15 years and put them up against the top 100 movies that the audience appreciate.
So what we decided to do was to take the BBC Culture's 100 Greatest Movies of the 21st Century, which is a critics list of top movies that have come out since the year 2000 through 2015, and match them up against what we ended up being able to find as the Rotten Tomatoes 100 Best Audience Picks of 2000 to 2015. What we did to do that was we took a list of the 1,500 top movies from 2000 to 2015 from Rotten Tomatoes, and we sorted them by audience score and took the top 100 movies from that list. Then we paired each of those against the critics' top 100 list, and we had our matchups.
Now, there was a few snags that occurred during the when we put together the list. There were some movies that ended up on both lists that were high on the audience Rotten Tomatoes score and high on the critics list. If that was the case, we kept it on the critics list. There were a few movies, U2 in concert, and there was an Aliens saga documentary that we had to eliminate from the list. One being because it didn't fit the mold of what we were trying to do, which was a documentary that was released on television and then had a theatrical release. And the U2 concert was filmed in 3D. I mean, we could have sat and watched it, but Scott hates U2, and he would have killed me if I made him do that. And that it was a 3D movie, we weren't going to be able to watch it in 3D, so you kind of lose what the point of that was.
And what we found was when we compiled both of our lists, we had two lists with very interesting movies on either end of the spectrum. So we came up with matchups for things like Iron Man versus Amelie.
We had Django Unchained versus Ratatouille.
And we actually have a very interesting matchup for our first week as well.
Yeah, we have Big Hero 6 versus Requiem for a Dream. Now, you're probably wondering, I mean, one's an animated feature, the other's a drama. How do we compare two movies that are so different? What are some of the things that we are looking for when we're judging against these two movies or debating about these two movies? I think what we've come up with is that we're looking for the new classics of the 20th century.
And in talking about this, to get to that point, we discussed some movies from the 20th century that we thought really fit the bill. Movies that are not only culturally significant, but also beloved.
Right, like Casablanca or Gone with the Wind. These are movies that blaze the trail, that have done things, that other movies are still doing today.
So what we're trying to see is whether the critic picks or whether the audience favorites are more likely to become the new classics that we're going to remember for the remainder of the 21st century. And we've got a number of different interesting matchups to figure that out.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We should have some lively debate, some good movie verses. We've got our fellow Gleam Teamers, Matt and Catherine from the Gleam Team Pop Culture Podcast, that will be giving us the background, the history of each of the movies that we're going up against, so that you get a good sense of, historical context for each of these films. And we should have some good debates.
Yeah, be sure to like these videos on Facebook and make your comments for which you think are the better of the two movies each week. We're looking for your input as well.
Mm-hmm. You can comment below and make sure that you like the video. That really helps out a lot. Where can they find you on the internet?
Oh yeah, they can find me at Scott Eshelman on Twitter, all one word.
Yep, and you can find me at GleamTeam_Pad1. Special shout out goes to Rita Whitney, who created our logo, this beautiful piece of art behind me. If you want to make beautiful art yourself, you can go on down to her art supply store, Prime Art Supplies, on 128 East King Street.
So please stay tuned. I hope you enjoy watching the movies along with us and enjoy making comparisons as much as we do.
All right, we'll see you on the 12th.